Hello, hello. I am back. Just like I said I would be. Can you guys see me and hear me okay? Hello, hello, everyone in the chat, all the viewers. Hello, hello. Welcome back. Kenzie Schmenzie time. It is. And I have a couple videos for you guys tomorrow, Kenzie, as well. Two phone calls dropping tonight, and then we'll probably review the ones that I've dropped, and then we're going to do a whole another live with phone calls. So that is going to be ready tomorrow, and I'm very excited about it. So if you're kind of new in here, you haven't caught up with all the Kenzie stuff, I have a playlist. We have been going through a lot of the documents. I've been wanting to do a text message reread. So I was trying to set a goal, but YouTube's not letting me. I don't know why. Let me know if that's something you're interested in the chat and in the comments, if you guys want to see or go through a reread. I feel like after we finish all of these documents, I don't know, I kind of maybe want to go back. But I don't know if you guys are into it. Will you guys tune in? Are you bored with it? We're still going to finish a lot of the body cam and stuff too. So we're definitely not done with Kenzie, but I did just want to, and we have a lot of phone calls. So I just wanted to see if that was something you guys were interested in. So let me know. I'm going to say hello to everyone, and we're back with the Kenzie live of reading the text message FOIA, Instagram messages through FOIA. We left off, I know it's been a few days, I haven't done Kenzie, but we did leave off on, she was talking to Vibe with Kate, and now she's going to talk to her friend Samira. So we'll continue from there. We're about halfway through the document. I'll do this live, and then we might be able to finish it tomorrow. So we'll see. I'm going to say hello to everyone. Evie, Alicia, hello, hello. I saw Cree, Jakey, hi, Rebecca, Chippy. I saw hello in here. Tiff, Pizza, get your biggest sunglasses on and run to your nearest gas station. Monica, hey, Funds, hey, Kat. Thank you, Tiff. Hello, Q, and hello, Nikki. Hi, Babelets. Thank you. Yes, Melly Pumpkin. Thank you, Glenda. And thanks, Tiff. You're so sweet. And Taz Mom, hello, hello. Barb, did I say Tippy already? Hi, Tippy. Monica, good to see all of you in the chat, and thanks for being here. Hello, Super Dave. Please make sure you hit the like button. It really helps push out the channels. I know it gets annoying, but please, 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 really, it does help. Turn your notifications on. YouTube did a mass unsubscribing, so definitely make sure you are subscribed, and definitely subscribe up to the second channel that will be linked in the chat, and I'll also link it in the description. So yes, chase some likes, or you will put on D&D. Exactly. Melly, don't forget your biggest pair of Crocs. I wear my Crocs today. Every time I wear them, I think of Kenzie. Mine actually fit me though, so there's that. Okay, let's get started. Let me pull up the document. And let me place myself where I want to be. And let's see. Okay, so we left off on, and let me know if the audio and the visuals are good. Samira. I'm not sure who that is. Not really sure who that is, but let's get started. So this is January 9th. I feel like that's the time that all of these kind of started. Kenzie says, that shit hurts on a different level. Samira responds with, for real. And then Samira responds to Kenzie's post and says, slay. And then she says, for real, bruh. And then on January 25th, Samira responds to Kenzie's story and says, you're hot. I don't know why that was relevant there. Next, Olivia Emma. I don't really know who that is either. That name doesn't ring a bell. So maybe a random person. January 16th, 2022. She sends an attachment to Kenzie. I think shopping stuff. And then says, this pose for us. Kenzie says, yes. Like, babe, I just quit my job. Let's take pics. Olivia says, hey. Oh, wait, that was on January 16th. And then it says on March 23rd, Olivia says, hey, beef over right. It was stupid. Okay, no response. And then on July 21st, So before the accident, Olivia says, "Hey, are you still mad with me?" Kenzie says, "I mean, you flirted with Dom, tried to cancel me for being racist. So I don't know. I have no hate for anyone." Olivia says, "I did not flirt with Dom. I wouldn't do that. We were friends. I want to hang out and be friends again. And I'm sorry about the way I came at you, but that was cultural appropriation. Also, don't you have like security cameras? You should like check them. It seems like I was flirting, but I wasn't." Kenzie says, "Ponytail braids isn't cultural appropriation. And why are you telling me to check my cameras? I also seen the text on Snap, but I can see how it could not be flirting." Olivia says, "Because you said I was flirting." Kenzie said, "It was over Snap." Olivia likes the message. Kenzie says, "But I don't even care anymore." Olivia says, "So do you like want to hang out or no?" She likes the message and then says, "Sorry if you think I was flirting. I want to be friends again." And then Olivia starts a video call and it ends. Kenzie says, "I'm at the point in my life where I need friends that are going to ride or die and never switch up. I mean, we can start by talking more." Olivia likes the message and she says, "For sure." And then on the 27th, July 27th, 2022, she says, "Hey, want to do something today?" Kenzie says, "Maybe. I was doing a movie night with Dom. My bad. I was doing a movie night with Dom." She says, "You're good. Can I come over tonight?" And then on the 28th, oh, that was on the 28th. "You're good. Can I come over tonight?" She says, "No service." And then she says, "At work." I don't remember that from the text messages. Them fighting about a girl named Olivia. Do you guys remember? Yeah. I'm definitely enjoying listening about my kids always upload more. Yeah, I know. Um, so let's see. The next person is Loaded Tala. Load Tala. She responds to Kenzie's story on January 18th, 2022. She says, "Babe, you're gorgeous." Kenzie says, "I love you." Lotada says, likes a message. Kenzie sends emojis. That jumps to March 15th, 2022. Kenzie says, "You so pretty." Loaded Tala says, "Aw, thank you." I don't know who that is, or if that's just like a username. Kenzie says, "Need in my life," responding to story. Load, I'm just gonna say load. Load says, "It's so good." On May 29th, 2022, Kenzie says, "Send me that picture. I need it." So she sends a picture to Kenzie and another picture to Kenzie and then another picture. Kenzie says, "Stop right now. I love it." Load says, "Me too." Kenzie says, "It's so cute. I wish we still hung out." Load says, "Same. We all grew apart." And then on June 25th, Load Tala responds to Kenzie's story and says, "I've literally never stood for the pledge. It's complete BS and America sucks. They're getting rid of women's rights along with funding countings that are schmurdering kids." Kenzie says, "Speaking facts, I stopped standing a while ago." Lotala says, "This whole world is going to shit. LOL." Kenzie says, "Hopefully it's fixed when our generation can run." Lotala says, "For real, we need to get rid of these old hags in office." Kenzie says, "Facts. Also, you can come to my grad party if you want. I know you don't have snack, but I posted it in my private story." Lode says, "Okay, I'll try to come." Kenzie says, "Just let me know." On June 26th, she says, is that the same day? No, it's the next day. She says, "It's going to be my family and shit." Lode says, I don't know if I can come because I'm having family over, but I will try to stop by." On July 22nd, 2022, Lode Tala responds to Kenzie's Instagram story and says, "They're obsessed with you. For real, for real." Kenzie says, "It's so funny. It has like 79 now." Lotala says, "LMFAO, OMG." On August the 2nd of 2022, so this would be after the crash. Hi, Augie. I can't do the thing anymore. Oh, Rebecca, we're doing Gypsy tomorrow. August 2nd, 2022, Lotala says, love you, Kens. I hope you get better. I'm literally praying for you. I can't move on knowing one of my best friends I've known since I was 2. We literally bathed together. I know we kind of lost touch over the years and stuff, but I feel like every time we talk, it's the same as we were kids. I heard that Dom and Dave passed. I know you probably loved Dom since you guys were together for a long time. I'm always here if you need to talk. I'll probably come and visit you soon. And I don't know what that means. I'll bring flowers or something. I don't know if your favorite color is still pink or green. LOL. Just know that I'm here for you. And it's like you're a part of my family. And that was on the 2nd. And then she says, happy birthday, Kenzie. Remember your Minecraft birthday was hilarious. Kenzie says, love you for thinking of me. I miss you so much. I wish we could just hang out and do dumb shit like that every day. When I'm out of here, we can all hang out. So she's talking about when she's out of the hospital. Lotala says, for sure, I'm gonna come and visit you, baby. And then it jumps to August 20th. Lotala says, hey, how are you? Are you healing up? And are you back home yet? Me and my mom want to stop by. Kenzie says, you guys can come tomorrow if you want. I'm not doing too good. I just can't understand how he's gone. He was the love of my life. He definitely didn't deserve any of this. Lotala says, I will try to come tomorrow. I know this all seems so crazy, like it's unreal. On the 21st, Lotala says, hey, could we be able to come tomorrow, like 1? Kenzie says, yeah, I'll just be laying in bed. Lotala says, feel better, baby. Kenzie says, I don't think I can when he's gone. Lotala says, it takes time, Kens. Kenzie says, I'll never forget about him. I can't get over this. He was my soulmate. He was my soulmate. Yeah, okay. That's why you treated him so bad. Kenzie sends a photo on the same day. Lotala says, you'll find him in the afterlife if it was meant to be. Don't ever forget, that's annoying. Don't ever forget, just heal. I have to find him in the afterlife. Kenzie wasn't even good to Dom. Like, what is she saying? Kenzie sends emojis. Lotala likes a message. Now we're jumping to another thread. Samuel says on August 22nd, 2022, so after the crash, says, I wish I really knew what to say. I'm just so sorry about everything that has happened. And I'm here if you need anything at all. How are you physically feeling lately? And then says, I've gotten updates from Allison, but haven't heard anymore. Kenzie says, I'm so depressed. The pain of my broken heart is worse. I just want to be with him. Samuel says, I hope I'm not making it worse by texting you. Is it okay? Kenzie says, no, it's fine. She says, the people help. And then Kenzie sends a photo. And then she says, he was my baby, my soulmate. Samuel says, he loved you so much, and I know he still does. I wish I talked to him more in high school, but I remember seeing him again at Allison's with you. When he started hanging around you, he just seemed so much happier than he used to be. I can tell you meant everything. Kenzie says, yeah, I just wish you were still here. I just wish you were still here. I think she means him. Yeah, I wish he was still here. It was supposed to be me that died. Does she just mean like, oh, I wish it was me? Or was she trying to take her own life? Because I don't know if I believe that. Cringe ain't going where Dom. Yeah, exactly. Soulmates, she treated him like hot garbage. Yeah, depressed, she took her weed connection out. Good point. Kenzie says, oh, and then she says, I just wish I died instead of him. He was perfect. Rolling my eyes until they get stuck in the back of my head. He was perfect, Kenzie. Not for you, though. I just wish I died, she says. She says, it just really should have been me. Samuel says, Dom was a great friend of mine. I don't know everything about him, but I know he would have said the exact same thing if it was the other way around. Kenzie says, he wants me to be happy and strong, but I can't be happy and strong when he's gone. He visited me in my dreams last night. Did he visit you and is asking why you unalived him? Samuel says, out of the entire event, I'm just happy you were okay. I know many people feel that exact same way. Samuel says, did he say anything? Kenzie says, I don't know. I just wish he was with me in person. We had our whole life planned out. I don't know. This is killing me. Kenzie sends a voice message. Samuel says, I'm going to be right back for that. Kenzie says, yeah, I know you're spiritual. So Samuel says, yes, I am. Kenzie says, I just feel like I didn't have enough time with him. Verbally abusing him and emotionally. Right. Kenzie says, I have all these videos and pictures and they are just killing me. I broke my whole body, but I'm healing fast and I feel guilty about it. Samuel says, I don't have the words. I really wish I could figure out the right thing to say to you. I'm just so effing sad for you. I know Dom is too. No, Dom is sad that someone took his life like that. What the heck? I hope these people have listened to the text messages. Samuel says, but I can tell you, you will bounce back. Kenzie says, yes, this is terrible life. It's just the worst. Samuel says, is there anything I can do to help you? Kenzie says, not really. Wish you could bring him back. Samuel likes a message and says, I wish I could. Anything you ever need, I'm here. Just let me know. Kenzie says, thank you. It means a lot. Dom's friends mean so much to me now. All his friends that you didn't like. She did heal pretty fast. For all the surgeries she had, yeah. And then she was in a wheelchair at the Halloween party. I'm gonna drink water. Excuse me. I was like choking. She says, Dom's friends mean so much to me now. Samuel says, people been good to you? ? Kenzie says, no, people have been threatening my life and telling me that I did this on purpose. Yes, beanhead. Wow, after the crash, Mackenzie was losing her mind. She only loved him for what he could give her, and that's it. Yeah, ? With the brain emoji, like, do you have a brain? She says, no, people have been threatening my life and telling me that I did this on purpose. You can come visit me if you want. Company helps, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Samuel likes a message and says, where are you? She says, I'm home because the rehab facility can't really do anything with me because I can't walk. Samuel says, okay, no problem. I can come visit you. Kenzie says, I haven't smoked weed in 3 weeks. Wow. Do we believe that? Kenzie says, but smoking weed is never going to be the same. Samuel says, well, we don't have to smoke. I don't know for sure, though, but I'm sure you got some dietary restrictions. Want me to get anything specific for you? Kenzie says, I know, I'm just saying it sucks. I don't have any dietary restrictions. I'm just still eating organic and shit. I wish they had the green apples. Samuel likes the message, both of those, and says, I'll ask Allison about that. Kenzie says, let me know. Emoji. Then on the 23rd, he says, when are you cool with visitations? Kenzie says, anytime. I just lay in bed all day. Samuel says, where's your place? And she sends her address. And then, which I'm assuming now is, obviously Natalie Shirilla's. Kenzie says, please don't tell anybody I'm home. People want to hurt me. Hey, ya mama Sancho. She's just looking for people to smoke her up. I know. Those texts, yeah, Alicia, speaks volumes, the real truth. Like I said, let me know if you guys are interested in a rereading of those. When life gives you green apples, throw them at Kenzie. No chits given here. No, we do not give any chits about her. Okay, let's see. She says, please don't tell anybody I'm home. People want to hurt me. Samuel says, no problem. I'll stop I'll stop up today after work. You want sweet peppers? She says, I've never had him before. He says, anything else you can have? He says, I planned this out wrong. I can do tomorrow. That way I can bring you something. Kenzie says, it's okay. Don't feel pressured to come. I'm just going to be laying in bed for a while, so I'm going to be free every day. You don't need to bring me something if you don't want to. Samuel likes the messages and says, no, you need friends right now. Kenzie says, yeah. Sad face or sideways face. He says, well, Samuel says, I'm stopping by after I close up here. I'm in Strongsville. Anything you're feeling at the moment? She says, if there's green apples, I'll take them, but just company. Sad face. Just let me know. Samuel responds, oh, unfortunately not. Do you like cantaloupe? We have sugar cubes. They're the best. Kenzie says, as long as it's organic, I'll take them. Samuel says, of course, I'm on my way. Kenzie says, just let me know when you're here. My mom will get the door. Samuel says, sure. Kenzie sends her address. He says, I don't know if it's a he or her. Samuel, I'm assuming a he, says, I'm here. Kenzie says, my mom is coming. The next thread is with 𝗕𝗥𝗵𝗏. January 11th, 2022. Kenzie responds to their story and says, yum. 𝗕𝗥𝗵𝗏 likes it. Says, thanks, babe. Kenzie sends an attachment on January 14th. And then Kenzie says, it looks so good. And then Kenzie says, it won't let me repost. She was trying to repost up this person's story. 𝗕𝗥𝗵𝗏 says, hold up, I'll send it to you, and sends a video. Kenzie says, thank you. How long do people usually leave this in for? Because I was thinking, like, take this out Tuesday or Wednesday. I looked it up, but it said like 2 weeks, but there's no way my hair can handle 2 weeks in a pony. Thank you. 𝗕𝗥𝗵𝗏 says, do what works for you. If you feel your hair won't take it, take it out Wednesday. It's up to you. Kenzie says, okay, bet. She says on January 15th, I quit Dunkin'. 𝗕𝗥𝗵𝗏 says, why? Kenzie says, FaceTime me. It's about the hair. And then on the 17th, Kenzie sends an attachment. 𝗕𝗥𝗵𝗏 responds with emojis to Kenzie's story. There's a message that's unavailable. Don't know why those happen. January 17th, Kenzie sends an attachment and then sends emojis on the 17th as well. 𝗕𝗥𝗵𝗏 likes it, says me N-word, responding to Kenzie's story. 𝗕𝗥𝗵𝗏 then sends an attachment on 𝗬𝗵𝗆 said ice baths and says on the 20th, thought about you. Kenzie says, oh my God, stop. I want to do this. 𝗕𝗥𝗵𝗏 likes a message, likes another message. 23rd, sends emojis to Kenzie's story, sends an attachment on the 25th, another one on the 27th, and says, in Florida. Kenzie says, want to start planning? She says, I'm gonna go to Beachwood today, maybe. And then on February 10th, Kenzie responds to their story and says, hot. And then on the 10th, oh yeah, that's the same day, Kenzie says, no way. And then she says hot again on February 14th, which would be Valentine's Day. And then on the 25th, Kenzie sends a bunch of emojis. On March 28th, Kenzie says, did she effing shoot him? Responding to 𝗕𝗥𝗵𝗏's story. April 15th, Kenzie says, how was it? 𝗕𝗥𝗵𝗏 likes a message and said, it was lit. We was blowing hella bags in there. Kenzie sends emojis and then sends a video and sends another video. And then Kenzie sends a photo, sending more videos. 𝗕𝗥𝗵𝗏 says, I'm with emojis. Kenzie says, bruh, I feel bad, to be honest. It was her first fight. 𝗕𝗥𝗵𝗏 says, aw, damn, you went to school just to see that? Kenzie says, LMAO, no, I wasn't there. I just have the videos. 𝗕𝗥𝗵𝗏 says, oh, but damn. She will be though. It didn't look that bad. Kenzie says, best looking in the class, responding to a story on May 19th. So they're talking about that girl that got in a fight at school. I think we read about it earlier in the previous text messages. As if. Yeah, I know. Hey Ruth, good to see you. In Lakeside. Kenzie says, best looking in the class, responding to the story on May 19th. Tyspay likes the message, says, thanks, love. And says, and you're fried when you said Miss Hazan looked wrinkly. Kenzie says, LMAO. She's looking very stressed. How you been? Though. Ty's babe says, I've been good at just trying graduation so I can run away. I'm tired of Cleveland. How you been? You look like you're just living life. Kim Kardashian voice. Kenzie says, bye. Yes, girl. I got into a top modeling program. I'm making moves, bitch, silently. You work at the hospital? ? We need to hang out. The top modeling program, making moves with Dom's money and help. Ty's babe says, congratulations. That's good. And as you should. Yeah, I still work there and we do. Just let me know when you're ready to. That was on the 19th. Then on the 31st, Kenzie responds and says, why they spell it like that? LMAO. Ty's babe likes a message and says, I just peeped. I don't know. June 16th, Ty's babe says, what's some good beaches? Kenzie says, I was just at Mentor Headlands and it was nice AF. They closed the good spot of the beach though for wildlife, I guess. Also, I know a chill area in Huggington. Ty's babe says, send me the address. I'll go next time. Kenzie says, to what? Ty's babe says, to the beaches. Kenzie sends emojis. Kenzie says on June 20th, if you make it organic and non-GMO, responding to Ty's babe's story. Ty's babe likes the message, says, okay, bet. And then says on the 25th, that open toe. Kenzie says, period, I love you. I'm going to the club. What are you doing? Ty's babe says, I'm at work, sadly, and what club? And definitely the open toes for the clubbing. Like open-toed shoes. Ew, Kenzie, put your toes away. You know how nasty they are. Oh, Huntington Beach. Okay, so she misspelled it. It's a nice beach. Ty's babe says, I love you too, girl. We got to do something soon. My birthday's coming up. Kenzie says, I don't even know. They club hopping. I'm just tagging along. LMAO. Bitch, what you want to do? Come to my grad party. It's Sunday. Ty's babe says, damn, I work Sunday. I'm off Monday though. Or what time does your party end? I can stop by after work. I get off at 12. Kenzie says, it's like a family thing. So I don't even know what I'm going to be doing at night. She says, it's 2 to 6. Ty's babe says, oh, okay. Well, I'm off Monday, not doing anything. I'll hit you up. Kenzie says, I'm down. On the 30th, Kenzie responds to Ty's babe's story and says, happy birthday. Happy birthday, B. Ty's babes likes the message on June 1st of 2022. Says, thank you, girl. Kenzie on July 4th says, you want to make me and Dom one? What are your prices? Responding to the story. Kenzie says, make us an organic one, though, with no added sugar or additives, and I got you. Ty's babe sends a photo and says, yes, I can. Y'all might be a little extra, like 10, 15 more because of fruit. You want a little more expensive, but I can do that for you. Kenzie said, this is why I love you. She says, I'm a show Dom. Also, do you still be doing hair? Kenzie says, I kind of want you to braid my hair with that ponytail braid thing again. And did you even pass board? I seen everyone posting. Ah, so this is the person that put that braid thing in her hair. You know what I'm talking about. The picture with that long braid down to the floor. No, her toes do not look like anything. They're unreal. They are unreal. That's hilarious. Ty Space says, I got you. Just let me know when you want them so I can get y'all's fruit. I have to sneeze. She says, I want it to be fresh fresh, and yeah, I still do hair. And yeah, I got my license. You should have went. That shit was easy AF. I felt like Miss Hassan gave us stuff harder than the actual test. 𝗲𝗏𝗡 says on, oh wait, that was on July 4th. And then it jumps to August 15th. So after the crash, 𝗲𝗏𝗡 says, hey, Kenzie, you seen my story. How are you feeling? Kenzie says, I hate myself and my life. I want to die. Yeah, you want to die because you have no one to buy you stuff now. All your shoes and purses, extensions were in her hair when she got arrested. Yeah. Kenzie says, I want to die. 𝗲𝗏𝗡 says, no, boo, don't think like that. I'm sorry for your loss, and it's a blessing you're still with us, girl. You're here for a reason. Kenzie says, I lost the love of my life. I don't even care about anything else. I miss him so much. This is killing me slowly. Well, you're still in live and talking a lot of ish on the jail calls that we are reviewing. 𝗲𝗏𝗡𝗧 says, I know, boo. I'm sorry. What hospital are you in? I can come visit you. She says, Brooklyn Rehab. I would love for you to come. I miss you so much. 𝗲𝗏𝗡𝗧 likes the message and says, what's your visiting hours? I can come today if that's okay. Kenzie says, you can come whenever, honestly. I'm just really sad today. She says, I don't have a lot of energy right now, but you're welcome to come. Kenzie sends her number. And then 𝗲𝗏𝗡𝗧 says, okay, I'll text you when I'm on the way. And then says, hey, is it okay if I come now? I'm 10 minutes away from you. Still August 15th. Kenzie says, sure. 𝗲𝗏𝗡𝗧 says, okay, and it's going to be 25 minutes. I want to make a stop. I wonder who that is. The next thread is with Kat. Oh, and this one starts on July 8th. So Kenzie says, Kat, and then says, I need your help. I'm trying to stay on my birthday outfit and I already have the main piece. I just don't know what else to add and I need more. Please help me. I love you. Kat says, hey, babe, what's the piece you got? Kenzie sends a photo and then says, this is what I got. And I was thinking to pair it with like a waist corset. Kenzie's the worst speller. We know she didn't do her homework and we catch her typing spelling mistakes all the time. She put waste like WASTE. I don't think that's what she means. Hey, Natalie, why all of these lies? I know. She says, this is what I got. And I was thinking to pair it with like a waist corset that goes under my boobs and black tall boots with a pointed toe. And thank you for replying. I'm obsessed with you. Kat says, love the idea of a waist corset. Def a painted toe. Trey chick. Def needs some black sunglasses for pics. Kat says, do you have pics of the corset? Kenzie sends a photo. She says on the, was it just the same day? Yeah, the 11th is the same day. Kenzie sends an attachment again, and she says, that's the corset. I already have the boots, but I haven't bought the corset yet because I don't know if it's the cutest one. I'm also, oh, okay. I have to sneeze. It keeps like going away. Kenzie says, I am also praying my boyfriend gets me butterfly Balenciaga sunglasses because those would just make the picture perfect. It pisses me off when I think of like everything Dom bought her. She says, I hope I'm not bugging you. It's the next day. I hope I'm not bugging you, but do you think the corset would work? Kat likes both messages and says, yes, corset would be so cute. Kenzie says, I love you so much with a bunch of emojis. Kat says, I love you. Then we're going to jump to the next thread and it's a photography, Mia's photography. Kenzie sends an attachment on July 7th. And then sends another attachment, perfect frame, IG, we fit the picture. Mia's photography, I'm assuming it's Mia's photography. Mia's photography likes the message, says Kenzie sends an attachment on the 11th. Y2K aesthetic attachment. Kenzie says, I love you, Mia. Mia likes the message, says, I love you. This is July 11th, 2022. Kenzie says, your models, responding to their Mia's story. Mia says, absolutely, likes a message. And then Mia shares a story with Kenzie and sends an attachment. I wonder what that was. This one's for Kenzie, Y2K aesthetic. And then it ends there. I don't know what that was relevant. The next thread is Abby. Abby. Oh, and this is the day of the crash, 7:31. Abby says, baby Kush, my homie. And that was it. I don't know why that was important. The next thread is with somebody named Reese. 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 OMG to Kenzie's story. Kenzie says, bro, I know. Well, that was it. The next thread is Tiffany, August 5th. So after the crash, Tiffany says, I love you so much and you are constantly on my mind. We're going to get through this together. Kenzie says, I love you, Auntie. I can't wait to see you guys when I'm okay. Auntie. Tiffany says, me too. We've got you always. Wow. Baby Kush, I know. I haven't heard much about other family members. The next thread is with her kitty. And it starts March 26th. Kenzie responds to the story and says, right, with a little heart. Her kitty likes the message and says, and then on April 9th, Kenzie responds to her story and says, LMFAO. Her kitty likes the message and says, I moved back closer to Strongsville if you ever want to smoke and paint sometime. Kenzie says, I'm down anytime, girl. I don't do shit where you stay out now. She doesn't do shit. Except has other people do for homework for her. And then bully Dom and be lazy and quit her job. Her kitty says, like the message, she says, Middleburg Heights, July 31st. So the night before the crash, Kenzie responds to her story and says, you eat all organic too? Her kitty likes the message, says, organic market and brunch day soon. By the way, happy early birthday. Kenzie says, yes, literally, I'm down any day. I love you. Thank you, bae. I feel so weird turning 18. Her kitty likes both of those messages and says, girl, I definitely hear you. I hit my 20 mark and I'm like, haha, is this for real? But yes, you are so precious. You've been out there living your life. Travel buddy, me soon. And that was 7:31. The next person is Autumn. On May 22nd, Autumn responds, ooh, to Kenzie's story, then says, this is gorgeous. And then sends emojis on the 29th, responding to Kenzie's story. Kenzie says, your bitch did that. I love you. Autumn says, you did that shit. I love that dress. It's giving bad bitch. Autumn says, I love you too and miss you. Kenzie sends emojis on June 6th. There's a message that's unavailable on June 18th. Kenzie responds to her story and says, LMAO, bye. We're staying, going over 80. Kenzie then sends an attachment. Autumn says, cause 60 is giving slow granny, 80 is giving bad bitch coming through. Kenzie sends emojis and says, facts. She says, what are you doing? Autumn says, my bad, was at work. Kenzie says, come to the beach on Tuesday. We're going kind of far though. Autumn says, where at? She says, I think we're going to Lake Erie Bluffs. It's past Mentor, but you should definitely come with us and hang. Mentor? I'm trying to remember the name of the road. Autumn says, okay, mentor only takes like 10 minutes from me. She says, yeah, I'll come with you guys. Kenzie says, bye, I wish. We're about to smoke up and tan. Autumn says, right, yeah, most definitely. And then Kenzie responds to her story and says, bye, I wish. Autumn says, I wish I still had that thing. I wish I still had that thing was thangin'. And then Autumn responds to Kenzie's story with emoji. Kenzie says on the 19th, I love you. Autumn says, love you too, girly. Kenzie says, we changed our mind. We're going to Mentor Headlands now, but still come on the 21st. She says, we're about to be at Mentor. Autumn says, my lace came up. LOL, I'm trying to pull it down. Kenzie says, bye, glue that shit and come here. Autumn says, I don't have no swimsuit, so I'm gonna just wear a set, but I'm coming. I'm almost done. Kenzie says, literally bet. I'm excited to see you, B. Kenzie sends an attachment. Autumn reacts to it and says, I'm rushing. OMG, I'm rushing now. Kenzie sends emojis. And then she says, we are to the left when the path splits. Autumn says, okay, on my way. Kenzie says, yay. Let me know. This is June 21st still. Autumn says, official. Autumn sent an attachment. Oh, she sent an attachment. Kenzie says, where you at? Autumn says, here, I think. Kenzie says, where you at? Walk to the pier. We're to the far right path and walk till it splits in two, then go left. Kenzie sends an attachment. Autumn says, y'all got stuff to sit in? Because I'm kind of wearing white. Kenzie says, yes, a towel. Autumn says, I forgot to bring one and I'm mad as hell. Kenzie says, don't worry, sit on ours. Autumn says, so walk to the path and I'm the only Black person with the F. Kenzie says, huh? Yes, walk down till it splits. It's the far right path. If you can't find it, I will come look for you. Autumn then sends an attachment. Kenzie says, is the path sand? Autumn says, no. Kenzie says, walk all the way right when you park, then walk all the way down to the path till it splits and go left. Kenzie says, you're on the wrong path, I think. The path is sand all the way down. Autumn says, OMG, I'm lost. Kenzie sends a video. Autumn says, girl, you're going to have to come. Kenzie says, walk back the way you came. Also, send me a video of you at the parking lot. So Autumn sends an attachment, 3 attachments. Kenzie says, walk back to the parking. She says, are you at Mentor Headlands Beach? Autumn says, yeah. Sends 2 attachments. Kenzie says, did you park all the way at the end? Autumn says, no. Kenzie says, go to the very end. Then you will be in the right spot. Send us videos of you driving. Autumn sends 2 attachment. Kenzie says, I'll show you on maps. And she sends a photo of the map. Autumn says, oh, you on the right. And then sends a photo to Kenzie. Didn't Kenzie say that? Kenzie says, oh, yes, go all the way right. You will find us. Kenzie sends a photo. She says, we're probably going to dip at like 5, so hurry, B. I want to see you. Autumn says, I'm rolling up. Kenzie says, LOL, of course you are, girl. Just be quick. I want to hang out with you for a minute. Autumn sends an attachment. And then Kenzie says, bet, walk till it splits, then go left. Autumn says, you sure? Kenzie says, yes, send another video. Autumn says, I went the wrong way. Kenzie says, did you go all the way to the right? Dude, Kenzie, just go meet her for crying out loud. I'm sure Natalie knows this all pretty well, being that she's always here. It was probably a picture of her speeding at 80. Oh, that's hilarious. Then, okay, so Kenzie says, did you go all the way to the right? Kenzie says, I'm gonna share my location with you. Autumn's message is unavailable. Kenzie sends an attachment. Then another message that is unavailable. And then it jumps to 23rd. Kenzie says, ugh, I love you, responding to the story. Kenzie sends an attachment. Autumn says, oh, who you taking pictures for? Responding to Kenzie's story. on July 2nd. Kenzie says, what do you mean? These my new favorite pics. Autumn says, then sexy. Them sexy. Kenzie says, ew. Kenzie says, I love you. I miss you, B. Kenzie sends an attachment on July 4th. She sends 3 attachments. Autumn responds to her story on July 5th. Kenzie says emojis. Autumn likes the message. On July 11th, Kenzie says, B, answer iMessage. Autumn likes the message. And then Kenzie sends emojis on July 24th, responding to her story. Autumn likes the message. Kenzie says, it's you on July 26th. And then it jumps to August 24th. Kenzie sends emojis. But that's it. The next thread is with Sean. I don't remember Sean either, but and this starts on August 23rd. Okay, so Kenzie says, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I would never do this on purpose. I would have sacrificed myself before he died in a heartbeat. I wish it was me every single day. He should be here right now. He's perfect. I have some videos from his birthday at the club and you're in them. I can send them if you want. So maybe it was one of Dom's friends. Then it jumps to 216 𝗬𝗧𝗧. So she's sending these messages out to people, like probably after she got out of the hospital. I don't know what day she was in the hospital too. August 23rd, 216 𝗬𝗧𝗧. Kenzie says, I just wanted to say I'm sorry. Wanted to also let you know I would never do this on purpose. Wait, it says the same exact message or close to it. Says, wanted to let you know that I would never do this on purpose. I wish he was here with me. I'm not asking you to have sympathy for me. I'm just so sorry. This should have never happened. He should be here. So she's messaging Dom's friends. The next thread is with somebody by the name of Allie. And Kenzie says on August 22nd, you may never open this or see this, but you lost the love of your life, your soulmate. I just lost mine too. How are you doing this? How can you be so happy? How can you get through this? So that person lost the love of their life. I don't know who that is. The next thread is with Lando. Kenzie responds to their story on August 21st. Lando likes the message. So after the crash, I think they wanted these in the evidence package maybe to see that she was like reaching out to people. I think it's, no, I don't, I think it was a friend at that time, Mentors the City, yeah. Okay, the next thread is with Maddie. Kenzie says on July 31st, or Maddie says on July 31st, so the day of the crash, well, the day before, I guess. It happened in the early morning, right? On the 1st. Maddie says, hey, I know we aren't cool, but I'm praying for you. You don't deserve any of this. I'm praying for you and your family. I'm praying you get better. Oh, so it already happened. Maddie then responds to sends a message to Kenzie on August 2nd and says, happy birthday. I'm still praying for you and everyone around you, hoping only the best. Kenzie responds with emojis and says, thank you, Maddie. Maddie says on August 20th, Maddie says, of course, still praying for you, girl, on the 21st. The next thread is with a random person named Crossup Man. July 31st, Crossup Man says, Kenzie, are you okay? Kenzie responds on the 4th, August 4th. Hey, I'm doing a little better. I feel like shit and I lost very important people to me. And the worst part is I don't remember a single thing about it. I have another surgery to go through, but this is just painful, slow recovery. Thank you for thinking of me. She says, I don't remember a single thing. I never know if I believed that. Do you guys believe that? Let me know your thoughts. I know we've talked about it many times before, but she says she doesn't remember a single thing. Remember, she wanted to get hypnotized because she was like, I need all my memory. And I'm like, no, you don't. But okay, so she says, I don't remember a single thing about it. Cross Up Man says, of course, Kenzie, what happened? I couldn't believe it. And it was very sad and painful to hear. Y'all were all just having a good time and having fun, and a big mistake happened. Also, whatever they're saying in the comments, nothing is your fault. They just some PUSSY ass MFs. But I hope you get better soon. And if you need anything, let me know. I have to censor YouTube's, you know how they are. Kenzie says, everybody is grieving in different ways. Some people just don't know how to do it without hurting other people, and understanding that I'm going through the worst pain too. Everyone has a right to grieve. People just need to leave me alone so I can grieve in peace. Cross Up Man says, yes, exactly. They just need to keep to themselves for real, because you have it the worst in the situation and it's just BS. Well, please go through the surgeries well, and I hope to see you out of the hospital all well and soon. Kenzie, that was on August 5th. And then on August the 20th, the same person, Cross Up Man, says, hey, Kenzie, are you doing all right? Kenzie responds with, not too good. I'm really depressed. And I feel so empty. He was just my soulmate. And he didn't deserve any of this. He was my perfect soul. He was a perfect soul. That was a Grim Reaper. She also remembers every bit of it. I think the reason she asked if Davion was alive, yeah, I know, because she heard him after the crash. I agree with that. And Kenzie says, I miss him so much. My sweet boy is gone. It's hard to sleep and wake up knowing that I can't open my eyes and see him. He was my everything. I have been just going to his grave and the memorial, and that shit hurts. I can just feel the energy. Emoji, 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 emoji. Man says, damn, it's not good to hear that. It makes me mad because that's not your natural order of life. He was your soulmate and died at a very young age. No, he didn't just die. She killed him. Cross Up Man. And then he says, but he's looking down and both of them are going to protect you. It's going to be hard to deal with him not being here, but they want you to be happy too. No. They want their life back, and they're wondering why Kenzie cut it short. She's a psycho. Kenzie says, he wants me happy. He always told me that, but I can't be happy without him. It just hurts. Cross Up Man says, I understand. The next thread is from 216 𝗕𝗥𝗓𝗕𝗓. Just kidding. It's 216 𝗕𝗥𝗓𝗕𝗓. So the message is August 9th. Hey, I don't know if you're going to respond or not, but you know me, but not as well. But I just wanted to check up on you. For real, because I know what happened to you is so traumatizing. So I love you. Stay strong and keep your head up. Heart. Kenzie says, thank you. 216 likes the message. Then says, hey, how you holding up? Kenzie says, I'm not okay. My soulmate is gone. I can't understand any of this. I am so hurt. Vomit. Yeah, for real. He says, God got you. Oh, geez. Don't worry. Just pray. Kenzie says, this is just terrible. Dom didn't deserve any of this. He was a perfect human. I want to like scream when I see these. I do. When I see these things, he's a perfect human. Well, 31,000 pages reveals you were an abusive, toxic girlfriend to him that needed mental help. Um, anyways, so he likes the message and that's it. Next thread. 𝗲𝗧 says on February 26th, literally it's responding to Kenzie's story. Literally let me know because I relate so hard. Kenzie says, so far, people have just said plants in your room like aloe and lavender to clear the air, drinking herb tea. Mostly, I already kind of do that. So I don't know if it's going to work. 𝗲𝗧 likes the message. Says, I'll note that. To be honest, worth a try. Kenzie says, the herbs will help. 𝗲𝗧 likes the message. Then it jumps to May 20th. Kenzie responds to 𝗲𝗧's story and says, gorgeous. 𝗲𝗧 responds back and says, I love you, baby. Heart, heart. And then on the 27th, Kenzie responds to her story and says, fire. 𝗲𝗧 sends some hearts. Here we go, August 17th. So it jumps from May to August. So now this is after the crash again. Here she goes again. Hey, I know we don't talk, but having been through my own tragic event where you lost someone that you expected to be in your life forever, ... How are you getting through this? Because you are a happy person. My heart is broken. Do you go to therapy or something? I just don't understand. 𝗲𝗧 says, hey, Kens. First off, I want you to know that I've been praying for you nonstop during this tragic time. I'm here for you, and life is going to be challenging, dealing with loss and grief. I've honestly found hope through my friends and my family. They will be there for you through everything. I do also recommend going to therapy. It's definitely very helpful to talk about things. Here for you, girl. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to ask. Little heart. Kenzie says, I just can't understand how any of this is real. My baby is gone, and my head hurts so bad. Thank you for praying. I love you so much, 𝗲𝗧. I have been talking to my friends and shit, but it is hard to be happy. I don't want to smile. I feel bad about being happy. Except that you went to the concert in a wheelchair. So how bad did you actually really feel? Oh, I need a distraction. I'm so depressed. No, you need to be in prison, which she is now, but you know what I mean, back then. 𝗲𝗧 says, I know, my love. It's a feeling of emptiness, and you feel like you can't do anything fun or smile without feeling guilty. I felt like this all year, especially during her birthday, Christmas, and other holidays. Just doesn't feel right. I love you too. I'm always going to be here for you. I know it might be hard right now to talk about feelings and whatnot, but you'll be grateful your friends are here for you and listen in the future. I know it's so hard, but just be yourself and be happy because you know they would want you to. Kenzie says, I don't even know how to feel or what to think. He was my soulmate, and now I get to be alone forever. I haven't been able to sleep. This is just the worst pain. I wish I died instead of them. Yeah, now you get to be alone forever or not, whatever you're doing in prison, dirty girl. 𝗲𝗧 says, sad face. I know it's an awful situation, and I struggled with the same thing. I couldn't sleep or eat or think. I feel bad for 𝗲𝗧, but not for Kenzie, by the way, guys. My brain is still messed up today, and I struggle with bad anxiety because of it. You're going to have thoughts that wish you did this or that to have it stopped it. But at the end of the day, all you can do now is live for them. They would want you to. Kenzie says, everybody thinks I was drunk or under the influence of something, or that I did this on purpose, and that is just killing me. because I could never hurt my baby. Those rumors are literally killing me, and everybody is believing them, which is making everything so much more hard. I feel you on the no sleeping because I literally have not slept in 3 weeks. I only slept for an hour, and then I just wake up and I just cry. Oh, geez. Um, you're like, what was that like? Coley's Coley says, people are going to say rumors no matter the situation. Rumors? They were not rumors, Coley. Okay, anyways. People are going to say rumors no matter the situation. People spread rumors about what happened to my sister, and it was just false information, which made me mad as well. I know you wouldn't hurt anyone, and people are saying this shit because they are just upset. They need to understand you are obviously just as upset, maybe even more. They also need to understand that they will never understand what you are feeling, no matter how hard they try. I know this is really hard and everything is challenging with crowds, but literally, if I were you, I would stay with my family and block out social media and others who aren't supportive. You don't need them. They aren't helping you heal. Except no, except Kenzie needs her social media because she needs to model, you know, sending the modeling messages in the hospital. How sad were you, Kenzie? You were crying every night. Kenzie says, I'm such a bad everything. It's a personal thing with Kenzie, okay? Kenzie says, the thing that is the worst is just, I just want to be with my family because now that's the only thing I have that's close to him. But none of them want to see me. Oh, she's talking about his family. None of them want to see me just yet because obviously they're healing and it just hurts too much. Some of his friends are believing the rumors and saying that what I did was a choice, which is effing killing me. Coley says, I totally understand why you want to be with them. Being with Ali's best friends definitely helps me. Just give them time. No, this sucks for both of you right now. The thing with Dom's friends is you can't change what they believe or don't believe. All I suggest is you find the good ones and stay with them. Anyways, moving on. No more Coley. The next person is Jared. And this is July 9th, 2022. Jared responds to Kenzie's story and says, why the F I laugh so hard at this? Kenzie says, it be the day bitches who want to talk about weight. Oh, it be the fat bitches who want to talk about weight. Excuse my English, but that's what it says. Kenzie's gross. Jared says, I've never seen this, but yeah, they be doing the most, and it's for no reason. No one actually cares about someone else's weight. And then on the August 17th, so it went from June 9th to July 12th, and then August 17th. Kenzie responds to the story and says, do you hate me? Jared says, honestly, I don't know how to feel about this situation. I've got so many unanswered questions, but why do you ask? Are you doing all right? Oh, here we go. Kenzie says, I'm not doing okay. I lost my soulmate and everyone is blaming me like I did this on purpose. I can't even walk. I just want to hear his voice or smile. I just don't want you guys to hate me because that just hurts me even more because you are all now the closest thing I have to him. Kenzie, you're weird. Stop saying that to all of his friends. Kenzie says, I broke my whole right side and my neck, ribs, lacerated my liver and kidney. I currently can't walk either. Jared says, I haven't been talking to really anyone. I've just been working a ton, trying to keep my mind off it, to be honest. He was the only person I've gotten close with my whole life. He knew shit even my family doesn't. So shit definitely is hard to take in. So I can't imagine how you're feeling. I hate that people can't keep their mouths shut about anything. So many people have been calling and texting me trying to figure out what happened. Kenzie says, yeah, I have people texting me and calling me a dumb bitch, telling me I did this on purpose. spreading rumors that I'm paralyzed or that I'm amputated. I have now been in the hospital for 3 weeks and I had to get 4 surgeries and I have effing metal in my leg and arm now. And the effed up thing is the pain of my heart being broken is worse than the pain of my broken bones. What about Dom and Davion? Like, they didn't even make it, girl. Paralyzed or I'm amputated. She says, I just wish this never happened. I don't know why this happened. Jared says, yeah, a couple of the people I know said there's a ton of rumors being spread, which really pisses me off. 1, because both of their funerals were less than 2 weeks ago. And 2, no one should have anything to say about a situation like this unless they are immediately involved or they're saying good things. I don't know. I've just been really trying to keep myself from getting mad at everyone over the shit. We all wish this never happened. Life is just unfair. If that makes sense. It gives everyone the best outcome of the worst situation every damn time. I've just been doing my best to talk about him in present tense to keep him here with me. Kenzie says, that's also something that's effing me up. I couldn't go to the funeral or the wake for either of them because I was in the hospital, not in good condition. I wanted to go so bad, but I couldn't. I could have had a stroke, so I had to stay. They shouldn't have made Dom an open casket because it didn't look like him. My friend FaceTimed me and went so I could be a part of it. Your friend FaceTimed Dom in his casket when his family didn't even want you there. How disgusting and rude is that? Like, yuck, Kenzie. You're a dirty human. An evil human. It didn't even look like him. How did you want it to look like him when you drove your car into a building? 100 miles per hour. What did you expect? They were probably not in good condition. Remember the body cam? We're going to review it tomorrow. We're going to review it because when the officer, his reaction is like, oh my gosh, their necks are broken and et cetera, et cetera. You know how terrible that scene must have been? Yeah, who did that? How disrespectful, right, Lakeside? We're coming for them. Yes, because you disfigured him, Kenzie, and Dom was beautiful. Exactly, Elijah. It was an accident. Remember, Melly? Eye roll. I know. What the heck? My friend FaceTimed me and I went so I could be a part of it. What friend was that? I'm curious. Kenzie says, I just don't know why it had to be him because he's so smart and perfect. Thank you for not hating me. We hate you because you guys are so special because you are his friends and he loves you guys so much. You guys mean a lot to me. It's weird. She's messaging like all of his friends. Then she says, I've heard people have plans for me when I get home to hurt me, which breaks my heart. I would never do anything to hurt them or him because she was getting threatened. If you guys want to listen to the call of Natalie Shirilla calling the detective, trying to have the detective order people to stop harassing her, that's under the video section. So definitely if you've missed that. It's almost like a guilty conscience. Yeah. She's trying to get all his friends. Yeah, she's trying to get everyone on her side because she knows they must have had an inkling that she was being investigated. Like, can Natalie and Kenzie be that stupid? Yes. Jared says, shit don't make no sense for real. Kenzie says, I just wish people would shut down the rumors and come to me if they have questions and be there for me because I'm hurting. No one wants to be there for a schmurder. Dude, It's so crazy that it's always about herself. She doesn't care about his friends feel. I know. She just cares if they hate her because it's all about her. Yeah. Jared says, at least you still get to be here breathing. Exactly, Jared. Thank you. You can text your friends and everything else you like to do. I can't even talk to my brother no more. Brother? I wonder if that's just how he calls him. Brother. Yeah, exactly. You at least get to be here breathing and eating top ramen in prison and honey buns and saying stupid stuff on the phone calls with your mom that are ridiculous and having 48-year-old pen pals. If you guys missed that video, that's also the most recent one of the phone calls in the videos tab. So definitely listen to that. Let's continue. He says again, you should be grateful, genuinely be grateful to be here and not in a casket. Thank you, Jared, whoever you are. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mary Beth, for being here. I bet the food at the hospital wasn't organic. Mwahaha. And it had GMOs. Cracking up. Kenzie says, oh man. Kenzie says, oh, here we go with her crying. I am still trying to understand why I was given another chance. I didn't deserve it. I can't do everything I love to do. I can't walk. I can't see the smile of my best friend, soulmate. All I have photos and videos and my memories. I understand you're angry, but we both lost somebody that we needed. I know I needed him. I'm never going to love again or probably be happy. The only reason I haven't killed myself is because Dom would have wanted me to live, because he always wanted me to be happy if it wasn't with him, but it'd be impossible to be happy when he's gone. The only reason I haven't unalived myself is because Dom would have wanted me to live, because he wanted me to be happy. That's actually true. He did. He was a good boyfriend to you. You didn't deserve it, Kenzie. You didn't deserve it. Wow. I know. I know. Her alligator tears. That ugly face. Those ugly lashes. Good night, Sarah. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Yeah. Wow. Wow is right. I call BS, says Effie. She's a bad liar. Yeah, she is. Kenzie then says, I'm sorry you hate me. I didn't do this on purpose. I could never hurt the love of my life. If I knew any of this would happen, I would have sacrificed myself so he could live. Interesting. Kenzie then says again, at least you can sleep at night and still find love. I'm forever alone and I'm never going to be okay. Jared says, when did I say I hate you? Don't put words in my mouth. I'm being honest and saying you need to take this time to grow and not take time to look for more sympathy. I can barely sleep at night knowing the one person who didn't deserve this and it happened to him, and I'm going to make all his dreams come true because that was my brother. I didn't sleep for days after it happened, more or less over a week. So please don't tell me how I'm feeling about this. Like, yeah, you wish it didn't happen, but technically you're the one who had the choice of that at the time and no one else. It was your car and you were driving. I'm not putting the blame on you for what happened, but everyone needs to make better choices with their life. And this is even more proof of that. Jared calling her out. Jared calling her out. I love this message. I really do. He says, not take this time to look for more sympathy, because we literally just said that's what she's doing with all of his friends and everybody. Oh, and he's not done. No, no, no. No, 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 babes. He says, just because you don't have Dom, you're acting like everyone else in your family and friends still aren't there. You've gotten almost 25 grand. I mean, you genuinely should be so grateful. And it seems that you are just sitting here saying, quote unquote, why me? Instead of trying to make the situation better. I personally don't have any sympathy for you, not trying to be mean. And again, I never once said I hate you, but it still doesn't make sense to me. What is this? You've gotten almost 25 grand. This I do not know about, and I have the entire FOIA file. Like, what? 25K? Is that from like the insurance? I'm gonna have to investigate on this. Wow. 25 grand. Kenzie says, I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm asking for friendship and love. This was a tragic accident. It was not a choice. You need to get that through your head. I don't know why people can't have compassion and acting like I wanted to do this on purpose, but I see how you feel. And I am beyond grateful for that money that I have raised and all my family and friends because they do make it better for a little bit. Ah, so they raised money for her. Why didn't we know about this? Hmm. I didn't know. I don't think I remember that part. She says, "My family and friends because they make it a little better. It makes it better for a little bit, but in the back of my head I'm always going to think about him because I was with him every single day. We did everything together. He is a part of you and he will always be. This would be a lot easier for all of us if we all used each other as support because we are all a part of Dom." The GoFundMe? That's what I was thinking, but I don't remember seeing anything about her having a GoFundMe. Jared is awesome. Yeah, we do like Jared. Mhm. Okay, so that thread ends there. These are good. Wow. The next thread is Celeste. Starts on May 22nd. Kenzie sends an attachment. Best dressed per usual prom. Celeste responds and sends an attachment. Wait, what day was that? Did I say? 5/22/2022. So May 22nd. Then it jumps to June 13th, 2022. Remember, guys, it's just the relevant conversations that the detectives and stuff wanted to put in here. So where GoFundMe? I know, I don't know. We were just throwing theories out there about the 25K, but I need to look into it. Bull, she put him in the ground. I'm sure Natalie and Jared is done talking to her. Yep. She also spent all his money. Imagine all the skims she bought with that 25,000. I'm sure Natalie and Steve would have smoked through whatever money came in. Well, because she needed the car. It was probably like totaled or something, you know? Yeah, I wonder what did happen to that money. Natalie, what did you spend it on? Because probably not a car because Kenzie went to prison. And then maybe it's money she's using to pay her life in jail, in prison. Yeah, they gotta sell that shit now. Yeah, for $50 calls. Exactly, Evie. Um, okay, so then Celeste sends on June 13, sends an attachment, says, sorry, I was busy. That was June 13th. Then it jumps to June 28th. Kenzie sends an attachment with the text in my element. Then she sends another one, Cleveland 19 News. Celeste responds with the F. Kenzie says, LMAO, be careful. Celeste says, crazy. July 5th. Kenzie sends an attachment. Celeste says, OMFG. And then it goes from July 5th to August 17th. Kenzie sends an attachment. Celeste says, OMFG. I love you. And then she says, I just did it. And it ends there. Oh, she was resharing something. I wonder if it was like a post about the crash or something. The next person is Lauren. On May 26th, Kenzie responds to her story and says, stop right now. She's so big. Lauren likes her message. And then on August 16th, Kenzie responds to her message, to her story, and sends emojis. So after the crash, Lauren says, right? I can't. Also, just so you know, we're all thinking about you. We love you so much. Dude, here she goes again with the sympathy. She's so big. I miss her. I appreciate that. I'm trying to do better. It's hard. I miss Dom so much. Lauren says, I know. I don't even know what to say. I just wish I could give you a hug. There are no words. Hang in there, kiddo. I'm here if you need anything. Lauren? Kenzie sends emojis. And then next thread, nails by 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏𝗦. So this is someone who was doing her nails, or maybe she went to nail school with cosmetology school. Hey, Denver, good to see you. She's in a cupcake prison compared to most. Natalie, if I'm getting any details wrong, let me know. Lakeside. Steve and Natalie declared bankruptcy. Oh, so what happened to the 25K? Questions. Next person, nails by 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏𝗦, starts on January 10th, 2022. Kenzie responds to her story with emojis. Nails by 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏𝗦 says, if you don't win, then it's rigged. Responding to Kenzie's story on February 2nd. Kenzie says, literally, I will cry. Oh, is she talking about Best Dressed? She says, literally, I will cry. Nails by 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏𝗦 responds to her story on the 24th and says, purr. Kenzie says, bitch, it's getting hella. Nails by 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏𝗦 says, purr, queen, on March 2nd. Responding to her story, rolling my eyes. If they get stuck, please let me know, guys. March 16th. Kenzie posts a story and she responds, thank you, I love you. Oh, she probably tagged her, or something. I don't know. Kenzie says, did you win? On March 17th. You better have. Demolish these hoes, Kenzie posted on 3/22. Nails by 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏𝗦 says, facts, and then sends an attachment. And then says, Kenzie says, girl, get a studio and do that to it. And then on April 4th, Kenzie responds to her story and says, as you should. And then Nails by 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏𝗦 sends a bunch of hearts and then shares a story. Okay, so this is July 24th, so the month of the crash. Kenzie responds and says, 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏𝗦, get the F out. I miss your sexy, thick ass. I wish you were here. Nails by 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏𝗦 says, I'm moving back in October, bae. Likes a message. Kenzie says, FUCKKKKK, if you know what I mean. Kenzie then shares a story on her IG. Well, that's what we're reading. Kenzie then says, literally can't wait. We are hanging ASAP. Nails by 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏𝗦 says, yes. Kenzie sends emojis. Oh, August 10th. So it goes from July 24th to August 10th. Kenzie responds to her story and sends emojis. Nails by 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗏𝗦 says, love you, baby. Next thread. Natalie, I bet you wish Dom was still feeding and clothing your firstborn. A criminal appeal costs way more than 25K. Oh, so maybe you're saying maybe they put it towards their lawyers. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Profess your love, mommy. The next stud is with somebody named CJ. Says CJ on August 5th says, sending prayers to you. I have to sneeze. Kenzie says emojis. She just responded with emojis. And then CJ likes the message. The next message is with Grace. These will be good. I'd say it's all spent. Yeah. Grace says on January 2nd, 2022, message unavailable. Okay, I don't know why they do that, but on January 4th, Grace sends response to Kenzie's story with emojis. Kenzie says, I love her. Grace, OMG, you need to buy a vintage one. Grace says, where can I? Kenzie says, Depop. Grace says, bet. Kenzie says, because I make fun of my ex-best friend for wearing Forever 21 ones. I'll send you the link because they have hella. Grace says, this one was expensive AF, not from Forever 21 though. Grace says, send the link. Kenzie says, LMAO, stop. Grace likes a message. Now it's the 11th. Likes a message. Kenzie sends an attachment. It's according to ABC News, sending a post about American Revenue Plan. Surprised she even knows what that means. Grace says, OMG. Kenzie says, like, swear to God. F the government. Grace says, what the F? I have to do taxes on my shit? What the F? Oh, Lord. Kenzie says, the world about to go cashless, bruh. Kenzie sends a photo. Grace says, WTF? Oh my God. Oh my God. My job is all cash. WTF? Grace likes, or Grace sends an attachment on the 13th. I'm dying laughing now. Says, she responds to Kenzie's story and she says, Harry Potter world. Kenzie says, bro, we should go. Spring? Grace says, yes. Then Grace responds to Kenzie's story and says, yes. Kenzie says, it's going to be down to my ankles. Grace says, bet. Then on the 18th, Kenzie says, it was so fun. Grace liked a message. She says, I know. Ugh. Grace then sends an attachment on the 21st and it says, tag somebody that drives like this. She's sending Kenzie an attachment about driving. Kenzie says, LOL, me and you both, except your car nice AF. Grace sends an attachment on the 27th. Kenzie says, you need, bruh. I need cool gems. Grace sends an attachment. Kenzie on February 4th sends an attachment in her story. There's a message unavailable. Then Kenzie says, we should go out to eat. Grace responds to her story with emojis. She says, I'll be in Miami this weekend. Kenzie said, next weekend when you're home. And then on the 6th, she says, responding to her story, stop. Grace says, he. Kenzie says, send pics you took. I want to see. Grace sends photos. She says, I still have to edit. Then sends another photo. Then sends another photo. And another one. And she says, but 2 and 3 are my fave. What do you think? Kenzie says, all. 2 is the best, though. You look so good, bruh. She says, I'm not over it. I agree with you. Grace says, I love you. I'm prob posting later. What time is good? Kenzie says, maybe 6 or 7. I usually post on TikTok at 6:30 or 10 a.m. to 6. Grace says, bet. Kenzie sends emojis. Grace likes the message, sends an attachment. Grace says, I love you. OMG. When I come home, we are hanging. My nails will be off too. So I want to do a pole class. A pole class? Hmm. It was definitely a waste if that's what they put in words. Imagine that being the case, immediately filing bankruptcy. I agree. um, Grace says, I want to do a pole class, and then sends an attachment. Kenzie says, I need to do that. I'm going to do that next season. Yeah. Kenzie says, bitch, please. Yes, let's hang. Grace says, isn't that so cute? Kenzie says, yum, responding to her story. Grace likes the message. Grace says, you would love the food. OMG. Kenzie says, I'm for real coming with you next time. I don't care. Grace likes the message. Kenzie, the next day on February 9th, says, you look so good, responding to Grace's story. Grace says, I love you, likes the message. And then on the 10th, Kenzie responds to her story again and says, no way, WTF. Grace says, like WTFFFF, sends an attachment. Then on the 18th, Kenzie says, I love you, B. Please come hang with me. I miss you, responding to Grace's story. Grace likes the message, send hearts. On the next day, February 19th, Kenzie responds to her story again and says, fine ass B. Grace says, I love you. Kenzie says, B, how nice is it there? Like for real. Send me videos. Grace says, oh my God, I'm on my way back. Kenzie said, and is all of that free? Grace says, yeah, LOL. Kenzie says, girl, are you coming to Cleveland for once? LMAO. And then likes her, says, I love that. Grace says, yeah, I'm here. He. Kenzie says, let's go out to eat tomorrow or some shit. Grace sends a video, then sends a photo. Says, let's go Monday. I'm really busy tomorrow and Sunday. I'm gonna be tired AF. Kenzie says, okay, bet. I'm down, girl. Did you take pics by the pool? That's so nice. Grace says, sends an attachment. And that was on the 20th. And then on the 28th, she responds to Grace's story and says, welcome home, babe. Grace sends an attachment. Kenzie sends an attachment back. Grace sends another attachment, and Kenzie, now it's March 13th. And Kenzie says, I wish. Grace says, no, for real. Then on March 14th, Kenzie responds to her story and says, felt this. Grace responds to Kenzie's stories with emoji hearts or emojis. I don't know if they're hearts, but I'm assuming. Kenzie says, they don't show here. April 5th. Kenzie says, what did you get this? It's so cute. Grace sends an attachment, likes a message, says, no, I didn't. They were expensive, dude. Kenzie says, so cute. Where was that? Grace said, her grandma's pool. Kenzie said, no, that Chanel shop. Message unavailable. Kenzie says on April 13th, hot, responding to Grace's story. Grace likes the message and says, I love you. And then responds to Kenzie's story on the 14th and says, period. Geez, they're annoying responding to each other's stories like that. The dad's name is Steve. Dude, bruh, I know. Mom, are you so proud? Her dreams and aspirations. I know. Grace says period to Kenzie's story. And then on the 18th, Kenzie says, F Ohio. Grace says, for real though. Then responds to her story again with emojis. Kenzie sends emojis back. She says, are you going to Texas? Grace responds to her story and then says, when do you come home? Kenzie says, the 25th. She says, miss you, B. I want to go out to eat. I need some organic, non-GMO. Organic, no GMOs, please. No GMOs. And then on the 23rd, Kenzie says, Denver effed. Grace says, scary as F, dude. You would freak out. I was crying. Kenzie says, what happened? Kenzie says, did you see the signs and shots? Shot? I think she says, did you see the signs and shit, maybe? Kenzie says, why are you even there? Grace says, yeah, I had a flight from there. And then on April 25th, Kenzie responds to her story and says, Joe? Grace says, LMAO. Kenzie says, you in Cleveland? Grace says, yes. Kenzie says, we should get town hall soon. Grace says on the 26th, yes. She says, are you here? Kenzie says, yes, I'm in Ohio now. Grace says, let's go to dinner soon. Kenzie says, I want to go when they have sushi. Grace said, Thursday. It's the draft, so they will be really busy. Kenzie says, oh, bet, I'm down. She says, I don't think they do reservations, though. We're just going to have to wait or something. Grace says, no, we will have to go early at like 6:39. It's a very specific time. And she says, the draft is at 8. Kenzie says, they do sushi at 4, bet. Okay, cool. Kenzie says, perfect. I need some clean food. Florida food was ass. Ah, so that's where she was when she said, are you back in town? So she went to Florida. That was when she went to Florida. And the whole chips thing, right? Or not the chips, but her being upset about not having the food she needed with Dom's family throwing a fit. She says, I need some clean food. Florida food was ass. Grace says, bet Shelby and this girl Lauren are coming over too. You'll love her. Likes the message. She says, oh my God, how come? You didn't try seafood? Kenzie says, you would think their seafood is freshly caught like none of it was. I don't want no farm fish. That's nasty AF. I just wanted crab legs. Grace says, ew, WTF. Well, you were in Orlando, to be fair. That's nowhere near the ocean. Grace says, Ohio has better seafood than Orlando. Kenzie says, even in Clearwater, they had shit food. I thought they would have such good food. I literally am glad to be back in Ohio now. She says, I just miss the sun. Grace likes her messages and says, same, I want to leave. Kenzie says, yeah, same. I want to go back to Florida, to be honest. I just need to find some good restaurants. And that was on the 26th. And then on the 27th, Kenzie says, I miss you, B. We need to hit a concert soon. On the 30th, Grace responds to Kenzie's story. On 5/11, May 11th, Kenzie responds to Grace's story and says facts. Grace likes it. Kenzie sends an attachment. Grace then responds to Kenzie's story and says cute. Kenzie says at Beechwood, they have no cute clothes for girls. So salty. And then on 5/20, Kenzie says, I have a set too. We should do a photo shoot, responding to Grace's story. Grace likes the message. Kenzie then sends an attachment. Grace likes it and says, I love you, LMAO. And then sends an attachment on the 25th about Chanel purses at Dan Bilzerian's crib. Kenzie says, bitch, OMG, I want to travel someone crazy this summer. Grace says, let's do it. And want to go to town hall? I'm hungry. Kenzie says, me and Dom are going out for dinner tonight already, or I would need sushi so bad. We should go out to eat there Friday or something, or even somewhere new. Grace likes the message and says, bet. Kenzie says, what day do you want to go? Because I'm down for any day. I can eat there every day. And then that was on the 25th. And then on the 31st, Kenzie responds to Grace's story and says, no way. Grace likes a message. Then Grace says, LMFAO. Sends an attachment on the 2nd. Kenzie says, tonight? Grace says, yes. Kenzie says, should we go? And then on the 5th, Grace likes her story. Kenzie says, I love you. On the 5th, and then on the 7th, sends an attachment from her story. Says message unavailable. 6/7, Grace sends an Instagram attachment. Kenzie says, OMG, I want to do that. Kenzie says, we sound so something like that. Grace likes the message. I think there's a typo there. Kenzie says on the 8th, sends her an attachment of the Johnson & Johnson thing she sent her mom as well. Kenzie says on the 8th, still the 8th, sends emojis. On the 9th says, I have that set. Now we need twin pics, responding to Grace. Grace likes the message. Grace says, yes, OMG, and sends an attachment. Kenzie says, I want to come, responding to Grace's story on the 15th of June. Grace responds, message unavailable on the 19th. Then on the June 21st, Grace says, gorge, responding to Kenzie's story, like gorgeous. And then Kenzie says, I miss you, B. We need to get food ASAP. Grace sends an attachment. Kenzie says, WTF. Please tell me you were not on that. Grace says, no, OMG. Kenzie says, okay, good. Somebody wants me to come to California for a photo shoot, but I'm so scared. Grace says, OMG, what city? Kenzie said, not sure. But I don't know how much I should charge. Kenzie sends an attachment. Grace likes it and says, WTF, and look it up online. Kenzie said, I'm literally never going to Edgewater again. F that place. You need to try to come to Mentor Headlands with me. Grace likes the message on the 24th. Then Kenzie sends a link for clothes stuff. On the 25th, Kenzie said, you see my text, responding to Grace's story. Grace says, no, it may be on my other phone. I'm on my 440. Kenzie says, oh, makes sense. Kenzie says, I told you I left. I just wanted you to know and didn't think I just dipped. That's what Kenzie said. And then Kenzie sends, I didn't want to wake you up, LOL. And then the next day on the 26th, Kenzie responds to Grace's story and says, what? Grace, are you serious? Kenzie says, hell no. Check the camera and sue. Grace sends an attachment. And now we're in July 1st. Kenzie sends an attachment about Skims. On July 7th, she responds to Grace's story and says, so hot. On the 8th, Kenzie says, how was it? And then she says, F yes. Grace says, it was good. OMG, crazy AF. Kenzie said, I want to see the videos. And then on the 10th, she says yes to her story. Grace likes the message. Kenzie sends an attachment on the 12th. On the 19th, Grace shares a story. Kenzie says, haha, Keely look good AF. I wonder if she meant Kylie. Kenzie shares a story on the 19th. Grace likes it and says, LMAO, love you. Kenzie sends an attachment on the 23rd. And then Grace sends an attachment back. She says, dude, what the F is this shit? They just followed me. Kenzie says, what the F is that? Do you know any of them? Grace says, only like 3, but they are literally right. Everyone knows about the cheaters. That's so funny. Kenzie says, bruh, the first post, LMAO, sassy and gay. Grace says, OMG, we're July 23rd now. Grace says, OMG, this is so funny. I hope they don't post my men on here. Kenzie sends emojis and she says, send me the ones you know. And you and Shelby remake this. Sends an attachment on the 24th. And it says, need the last pic now. Kenzie says, no way. Grace likes it. Says, I love you. Sends two attachments. Kenzie says on the 26th, me. She says, yay, welcome home, LMAO. Grace likes the message. Kenzie says on July 29th, literally so sexy, to Grace's story. Grace likes the message, says, I love you. and then says, OMG, sends an Instagram attachment. Kenzie says, OMG, Grace, did you send it? And then it jumps to the 4th, August 4th. So we went from July to the 4th. I wonder how much it costs prosecutions to pull social media DMs like this. That's a good question. I would hate to be her sister Danny, right? Kenzie, okay, so it goes from the 30th to the 4th. Kenzie sends an attachment to Grace about 19-year-old Davion Flanagan and Dominic Russo were killed in a fatal car accident. Grace likes the message and says, OMG. Kenzie says, I'm so depressed. Grace sends emojis, and that's where it ends with Grace. Interesting. I thought it would for sure go longer with Grace. The next thread is 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏. Starts on January 9th, 2022. 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏 responds to Kenzie's story. Kenzie sends emojis, jumps to March 31st. 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏 says, I have the same one, responding to Kenzie's story. Kenzie says, why don't you wear it? It is so cute. 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏 says, I wore it yesterday, dead ass. Sends a photo. Kenzie says, I'm in love with vintage track suits, are literally the effing cutest thing ever. 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏 says, right here. Kenzie says, so effing hot. Wow. 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏 says, me too. OMG. I found it in a box. It was my mom. She says, I love you. Heart. Kenzie says, oh, I wish I get mine for like 200 plus on Depop. My mom has none. Your mom has none and she's not paying for anything because Dom is paying for everything. Yeah, we wouldn't mind talking to Grace if you are out there watching. Y'all better like or you're getting blocked. Also true. Kenzie says, I wish I got mine like for 200 on Depop. My mom doesn't have any. That's a flex for real. 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏 says, we matchindo. Kenzie says, we literally need to hang out. Why don't we ever hang out? 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏 says, girl, for real though. Then it jumps to June 24th. Kenzie responds to her. I'm assuming that's a girl. Kenzie says, where? 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏 says Brunswick. And then jumps to August 5th. 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗜𝗏 says, I'm obsessed with you. Stay strong, gorgeous. No response from Kenzie here. Next thread is by someone named JK. April 5th, 2022. Responds to Kenzie's story and says, adore your 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 that some kind of game or something? Kenzie says, play with me, Jay. Oh, okay. So this person's name is Jay, which makes sense. JK. The initials JK. Kenzie says, play with me, Jay. And then she says, WTF. Jay says, bet. Kenzie says, add me when you make an account. Or do you already play? Jay likes a message and says, I already play. Liked another message. April 6th. Jay says, girl. And then sends a photo. Kenzie says, hot. Add me right now. Kenzie, and she spells it KENXIEE. Jay likes the message. And then it jumps from April to August 5th. Jay says, hey, how are you doing? No response from Kenzie. Next thread is, oh, wow. So I guess we'll just go refer to them by, oh, wow. August 1st, 2022. So after the crash, oh, wow says, praying for you, my love. You are in everyone's hearts, pretty girl. Stay strong. Oh, it's Morgan. Oh, wow, Mo. Because then it says here, August 5th, Kenzie says, love you, Morgan. Thank you for keeping me in your prayers. Next thread is, but with somebody named Cody. On August 4th, Cody says, hey, Kenzie girl, I'm thinking of you right now. I know it's hard, but you have to push through and fight for your friends and family. We need you here. I'll be here for you every step of the way. I wish you a fast and speedy recovery. I love you. Oh, geez. She was cheating on Dom for sure. I believe that. I do believe that. Yes, please hit the like button. Please, please, please. Okay, so let's see. Wow, what a vampire. I know. Kenzie says, love you. I love you all so much. I'm going to get through this all, hopefully. Cody says, I promise you will fight every day for him. He's looking down on you, Kens. Make him proud, babe. You still have so much time here and you got to live up to it all. I know you will get through it. I promise you. So many people are here for you and love you, and you need to never forget that. And then the next thread is Angelique, I think. And it's July 24th, so a few days before the crash. Kenzie says, stop, I love you so much, responding to her story. Angelique likes the message, sends emojis. On August 3rd, says, happy birthday, Kenzie. Keeping you in my thoughts and prayers. Stay strong. Kenzie says, love you, Angelique. Thank you for thinking about me. It means a lot. Angelique says, love you, babe. Thinking of you always. The next thread is with Megan. Megan, on July 26th, sends an attachment. Kenzie responds with facts. Then it jumps to August 12th. Meg shares a story. Kenzie responds with emojis. Wondering what that story was. Next thread is Paige. I'm assuming Kenzie says, oh no, this person, Paige, sends a message on August 3rd. Hey girl, I just wanted to say I love you and you're in my prayers always. The next thread is Bastor. Kenzie says on February 24th, responding to their story, wow. Bastor says thanks. Kenzie sends emojis. Then it jumps to April 28th. Bastor likes the message, sends emojis. Kenzie says on June 28th, this is why I deleted mine. Bastor says, yes, ma'am. I love you. Who the hell is that? Next thread is Lexi. Lexi? I can't keep track with all the girls that Kenzie thought Dom was cheating on her with. Was one of them Lexi? I should know this by memory and by heart. Lexi was one of them, I think. Lexi says, January 6th. Oh, Kenzie says, for real, you to me all freshman year and sophomore, responding to her story. Lexi says, LOL. Kenzie says, miss those days. Lexi says, me too, I miss you. I don't think it was Lexi was one of them. Let me know if I'm wrong. On February 15th, Kenzie responds to her Lexi story and says, she's so big, OMG. Lexi likes the message. And then on the 31st, oh, so it went from February 15th to July 31st, the day of the crash. Lexi says, I love you, Kens. I love you. You can do this. I love you, Kenzie, baby. Keep fighting, princess. You got this. Ew, princess? No. Lexi was a pal. Okay, that's what I thought. She has more friends than my mom's. Well, I mean, I'm surprised people even cared to check on her. I guess people cared about Kenzie. The next thread is with AGD, sorry. AGD says on February 25th, a fast way to sleep position wise is lying on your back, and you can get melatonin or use some plants in your room for clean oxygen, and that helps. Oh, responding to Kenzie's story. Kenzie says, do you recommend any natural plants? And do you know if melatonin is all natural? AJD says, aloe vera is what I use a lot. Snake plants tend to help. Oh, if you're looking for smell-based, you can get lavender plants. AGD says they tend to help with sleeping. And with melatonin, I'm sure if they are all natural, but I do believe you can get natural melatonin. Kenzie says, I didn't even know they have that. That's a bet. Kenzie says, I'm gonna look into plants. And then that was February, and then it jumps to August 1st, and this person wrote her and said, "Stay strong," after the crash. The next thread is with Marianne. Marianne says on August 1st, "Hey, beautiful, how are you? I'm so sorry for your boyfriend that happened to him, but he's in a better place now. And please, please, please let me know whenever you need anything." How is he in a better place after Kenzie kills him like that? I'm just saying. Maybe a better, like, he was dealing with a lot from her, but still. And then this person, Marianne, says, "Love you and stay strong." No response from Kenzie here. The next person is Olivia. January 19th, Kenzie responds to her story with a message. Olivia likes it, sends emojis. February 11th, Kenzie responds to her story and says, yes. Olivia likes the message, says, "I'm so excited." And then it jumps to from February 11th to March 28th. Olivia says, "OMG, your mom made that?" I'm wondering if she's talking about that bra thing, you know, the stuff that Natalie was making, sewing or whatever. Kenzie says, "Yeah, she's so cute." Talking about her mom. Olivia says, "So cute." She likes the message. Kenzie says, "Hell yes," responding to her story on the 30th. Olivia says, "Period." August 1st. Jumps to August 1st, Olivia says, "Praying for you, baby." The next thread is Bree. Bree sends emojis to Kenzie's story on April 27th. Kenzie responds with emojis. And then Bree says on August 1st, "I am thinking of you and praying for you, beautiful girl. You are so strong. You've got this." She kind of had a lot of people on Instagram hitting her up about this. This is way before they knew Mackenzie was a snake. Yeah, there's that part too. It's absolutely true. I don't think they knew what was going on yet because Kenzie didn't get arrested until October, if I'm not mistaken. Well, he wasn't with the worst thing that happened to him anymore, but she robbed him big time and his family and Davion's family. I agree. Thank you, Cree. Let's see. Okay, so this is with Lil Lay. Kenzie says on January 28th, responding to this person's story, "Lies, Libra men cheat." Lil says, we'll just call him Lil. Lil says, "Is Dom a Libra?" Kenzie sends emojis. Lil says, "I'm dead. He been messing up again?" Kenzie says, "No, he hasn't in a while, to be honest. I just will never forget." Oh, she's talking about she will never forget that Dom cheated on her. I can't see what Dom ended up seeing in Mackenzie and the girls. I can see what Dom ended up seeing. Kenzie says, "No, he hasn't in a while, to be honest. Just will never forget. Now I know better. I would dispo fast if he cheats again." Oh, I would dip so fast if he cheats again. He didn't cheat. And maybe if he did, it's because you were being a psychopath. Yeah, before all the investigative work was done. True. Kenzie says, "I will dip so fast again if he cheats." And then it jumps to from January to July 26th, a couple days before the crash. Kenzie responds to Lil's story and says, "WTF?" And then again, and Lil Lay says, "Men from Cleveland ain't shit." Kenzie says, "Facts, whoever made that goofy." Lil Lay likes the message. It's kind of random. The next thread is Jazz. And this starts on January 20th. Jazz sends emojis and whatnot to Kenzie, responding to Kenzie's story. Kenzie says on January 20th, "We should go this weekend." Jazz says, "Where?" And then it jumps all the way to July 31st. Jazz says, I'm praying for you, baby. I love you endlessly. Next up is Jana. Okay, January 15th. Jana says, bye, responding to Kenzie's story. And then on January 15th, says again, little boy Ken's. Kenzie says, I miss it so much. I think I would kill someone for real. Jana says, the prime days. Then on February 14th, responds to Kenzie's story and says, Cassie, how would look? Love it. Kenzie says, I love you. Jana says, I love you, girl. February 24th, Jana says, OMG, no way, Joe Gatto. Responding to Kenzie's story. Kenzie says, I met Mur too. Jana likes the message. And then on February 25th, Kenzie posts a story and Jana responds with melotion. I don't know if she meant melatonin or something. I don't know what that means. Melocean. Melatonin. She just didn't, it's a typo. Because then Kenzie says, isn't it natural? Jana says, yes, babes, our brains produce it as well. Jana says, but just start with 5s instead of 10s because 5s are the perfect amount and 10s just make you feel hella tired after you wake up. She's talking about melatonin. Kenzie says, okay, I love you. Thank you. Jana says, you're so welcome. I love you. I hope you start to sleep well. Kenzie says, all will be normal soon. Praying at least. It will. Jana likes the message. Kenzie responds to her story on March 9th and says, so fine. Jana likes the message and says, I love you, baby. And then on March 17th, Kenzie responds to her story and says, you're not wrong. Jana likes the message. Jana says, shit makes me sad. I want to get high. 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗓𝗕𝗏. Shit makes me so sad. I just want to get high. 𝗕𝗥𝗔𝗓𝗕𝗏. Why do these girls think they could use racist terms like that? Thank you, Marybeth. I love Mary. Really, thank you. Gross. Kenzie says on March 19th, felt this, responding to her story. Jana likes her message. Jana sends an attachment on the 24th. Kenzie says, OMG. Then Jana responds to Kenzie's story and says, this. Kenzie says, for real, like you should see some of the shit people comment on my TikTok. So weird. Every woman's body is beautiful. Okay, Kenzie, you're saying every woman's body is beautiful, but you were talking about fat girls and calling people fat and body shaming them. Kenzie's such a fake. Then Kenzie says, every woman is an effing goddess. Men need to learn. Jana says, it's so sad. So many women forget how beautiful they are due to society norms. I hate it. Kenzie says, literally why I hate men or pigs, whatever people call them. Ooh. Remember when she used to call Dom a pig? Oh, that's from Scary Movie, what she said about getting high. Oh. Still disgusting. Thank you, Key. What the hell is there to love about this girl? I have been trying to find one thing. Come on, let me know when you figure it out, Alicia, please, because I don't know either. Kenzie says, or pigs, whatever people call them. Remember how mad I used to get when she would call Dom that? Ugh. Jana says, men are scum. I just call them its. Kenzie says, if it don't work out with Dom, I'm for real done with men. Ah, okay. Yeah, okay. Jana likes the message and she says, as you should. And then on the 30th, says to Kenzie's story, this picture makes me laugh so effing hard. Kenzie says, LMAO, I have one with Joe too. April 14th, Kenzie says, dude, I'm literally so sad about this shit, responding to Jana's story. Jana says, I just spoke to him too, not that long ago. Kenzie says, this is so effed up. F people lacing rugs. Poor kid. Jana says, I feel so empty, bruh. He was an OG to me. So they had a friend that passed, but I don't remember that. She called him way more than that. True. True. I don't remember what friend though, if I can remember from the text, who passed. Jana says, I feel so empty, bruh. He was such a OG to me. Jana says, effing sickening, bruh. Kenzie says, yeah, this is really going to affect a lot of people. He was a chill kid. I wonder who gave him whatever he took. They deserve death. Okay, so someone gave someone laced rugs and you're saying they deserve death, but you killed 2 people. Do you deserve death? Just a question. Don't know. Jana says, make sure Dom always safe, bruh. I ain't want you to lose him. She says, literally my worst fear. Love you, girl. If you need anything, I'm here for you. Jana says, love you, Kens, so much. 7:31 calls Kenzie. Kenzie didn't answer. So the day of the crash or the night before. We'll do this thread. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, whoever 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is, on May 1st says, hey girl. Kenzie says, hey girl, what's up? 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 says, I wanted to know how you got into modeling and stuff. Kenzie says, I'm gonna send a voice memo. And she does. She sends a voice memo. Then, okay, there's the audio. Another voice message. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 likes the message and then sends one back. And then sends another one. Okay, so they're sending audio messages back and forth to each other. Then she says Kenzie says on May 9th, Ford, Wilhelmina, no agency. She's talking about the modeling thing. Took cough. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. I kind of like that. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Kenzie, you are the disgusting one. Was it the pregnant girl's boyfriend? Oh yeah, I didn't think of that. Good one. Barbazon. Zon. Barbie Zon. Which one is it? I think you guys always correct me. You're gonna be like, really, Melly? Again? Kenzie says on May 9th, these are off the top of my head, but if you look up on TikTok agencies to apply, hella will come up. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 likes a message. Likes a message. Okay, liking all her messages. Then 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 says, bet. Thanks so much. We should definitely chill sometime, gorgeous. Maybe you can help me out. Excuse me. And answer. Maybe you can help me out and we can talk. And I don't know if you smoke, but smoke. Sorry, I was like choking again. She says, we can talk and I don't know if you smoke, but smoke. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 says, do you feel like tattoos will mess my chances up? Kenzie says, yes, we can def smoke and chill. Where you from, bae? Honestly, I would not get tattoos if you're trying to be a model. I have one on my finger, and for my modeling school, they literally make me cover it up. And it's so small. Kenzie sends an attachment. She says, it's not that it's going to ruin your chances because you could be a model with tattoos. It's just going to give you less room to choose what you want to do in a way. Specific places aren't gonna want that, but some photographers love that shit. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 likes the message. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 says, I got half asleep, but I'm willing to cover it up. But damn, I live in Cleveland, baby. Where you from, ma? I got 7 tattoos in total, so damn. Sends a picture. They're probably sending pictures of their tattoos. Okay, sends another photo. And then she says, 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 says, I got a neck tattoo. Kenzie says, oh my God, stop. You're so hot. Honestly, your tattoos aren't that noticeable though at all. They are perfect and not sloppy. You could easily find people that will want you, girl. Don't worry. Like I said before, it's all about the confidence. A tattoo will just make it a little bit harder. Same goes for me, even though it's small. You could definitely model. You're literally so pretty. Kenzie says, I'm from Strongsville. 𝗲𝗏𝗄𝗏 likes the message and says, oh my God, girl, that's all you. I appreciate that so much in your advice and thanks. I got them done professionally, but I'm only 15. I don't know if that affects it, but I already work. But I don't like it. I got that willpower to make it with tattoos, at least I feel. But when you free, ma, but you close for real. Kenzie says, bitch, yes, you could do so many things. I'm ready to see it. So close. And I'm in Cleveland. 𝗲𝗏𝗄𝗏 likes the message and says, but we definitely got to chill sometime. You like picnics? I've been trying to have a picnic with someone for the longest. Oh, I appreciate that for real because that's how my life's been. I need some of that positive shiz. Kenzie says, B, I would be so down. That literally sounds so fun. I'm down any day. And then Kenzie says, it's so hard to find good people these days that I actually want to do fun shit. 𝗲𝗏𝗄𝗏 likes the message and says, do you be driving? And yes, OMG, you speaking facts. Everyone fake AF these days. That's why I for real stay by myself. You trying to do it like at Lake Erie or you got any ideas? 𝗲𝗏𝗄𝗏 likes the message and then says, girl, I'm always trying to TRINA. Not the spelling again. Hey, Michael, Brian, good to see you. She says, girl, I'm always trying to do some fun, especially this summer. I'm out. I mean, YOLO. Kenzie says, I'm down. It's going to be 80s the next couple days too. So Lake Erie sounds so nice. And yes, I drive. 𝗲𝗏𝗄𝗏 says, oh, okay. So that was on the 10th. Oh yeah, the 10th, the same day. 𝗲𝗏𝗄𝗏 responds to Kenzie's story and says, giving, very much valid, likes the message. Then 𝗲𝗏𝗏 says, you got a scoop. I'm off work the next couple days. You smoke weed? Question mark. What you trying to make for the picnic? Or are you trying to get something? 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏, I know. It's making me laugh. And then 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏 says, I got money for food or we can make it, but I don't know what you eat. Kenzie says, yes, I smoke. We're on May 11th, by the way. Yes, I smoke. Add me on Snap at Mackenzie Shirilla. I eat very weird, to be honest. All organic, no GMO, no gluten. It's a lot, but it helps my spiritual journey. I'm going hiking and on a picnic in a couple days, but we could literally go any day this week. I'm pretty sure I even have a little picnic basket. 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏 says, great, because I be selling shit. And so I'll have bag and shit. Okay, bet ma. I'm about to. I'm always trying to better myself, so I'm down. Who you going with? Honestly, it's up to you. What are you doing today? And that sounds amazing. That's gonna be so cute. She likes Kenzie's message. What are some of your favorite meals? Kenzie says, nothing so far today. To be honest, I love fruit. So that's probably my fave meal. Just any fruit. And then Kenzie, is fruit a meal? Kenzie says, you ever been to town hall? 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 likes the message. Yeah, they smack. I've only been a couple times. Kenzie says, we should go one of these days. I'm tanning right now. It's so effing nice out. 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 likes the message. And then 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 says, yes, I had just walked my dog. I'm free today if you're trying to go. And then on the 29th, jumps from the 12th to the 29th. 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 responds to Kenzie's story and says, purr, congratulations. Kenzie says, I love you. I think, yeah, it was graduation. 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 likes the message and says, love you too, cutie. And then on June 20th, 𝗲𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 says, what are you doing? How's my grad? Kenzie says, nothing new. Still trying to take off modeling. How are you, babe? What are you doing Tuesday? 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 likes the message and says, I'm off. Like that my only off day. And you you gotta let faith take control. Everything happens at a certain time for a certain reason. And girl, you're gorgeous. So it'll be soon. She really thought she was on her way to being America's Next Top Model. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 says on July 4th to Kenzie's story again. Per. And then on the 10th, responds to Kenzie's story again and says, 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 my fave? Kenzie said, it's so good. I love the songs. Does she mean Grease? 𝗬𝗓𝒔𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑𝒑 Obviously music. Kenzie says, "It's so good. I love the songs." And then it jumps to the July 30th. "What are you doing for your birthday, pretty girl?" Kenzie says, "I'm doing a birthday dinner with my friends and maybe a little party after. I just don't know what I'm doing yet." This is the night of the crash. The Barbie likes the message and says, "That sounds like fun. If you got some free time, hit me up and we can smoke or something for it." I think she might be allergic to soap and water. Yeah. I don't know when she showers. When does she have time to do any of that? Because she's over there harassing Dom through text messages. And then she's over here on Instagram sending articles and attachments and talking about all this nonsense. Next thread, Isabella. May 10th. Isabella says, "Are your shirts polo? Super cute. Where did you get them?" Kenzie says, "Yes, they are. Kids section polo. They have hella cute shit." She was shopping the kids section. Why are we surprised? Isabella likes it and says, "Thank you." And then on May 17th, Isabella responds to Kenzie's story and says, "Too pretty." Kenzie says, "I love you, bae." Isabella likes it. On May 23rd, Isabella says, "Oh my God, that is so scary. Same thing literally just happened to me." Kenzie says, "It's so gross." Isabella says, "I'm so sorry that happened to you." I wonder what they're talking about. June 17th, Isabella responds to Kenzie's story and says, "So hot, babe." Kenzie says, "I love you, bae." Isabella likes it. On June 21st, Isabella responds to Kenzie's story again and says, "Drooling." Kenzie says, "Thank you, wifey." Isabella likes the message. And then on June 30th, Kenzie posts a story. Isabella says, "Girl, you did that?" Kenzie sends emojis. On July 3rd, Isabella says, "Slay" to Kenzie's story. And then again on the 4th, responds to her story with emojis. Obsessed much, dude? Then on the 4th again, Kenzie posts a story and Isabella says, "Eating like always." Kenzie says, "I love you, bitch." Isabella likes the message. July 5th, Isabella says, "You're so sexy." You're little. You say you're so sexy? What the? Kenzie says, "Literally, you're my hype woman. I love you." Isabella says, "Yes, girl, I love you. You literally inspire me. I'm from Ohio too, and I love your TikTok. I want to be out there like you. And I love that you buy DH Gate because so many people hate on fakes, but you literally do not care." Ah, so those Christian Dior bags, the ones I'm always like, those are fake. I think that's where Kenzie got them. She be buying the fake bags. Hey, do what you gotta do. Isabella says, "And you're so hot." Kenzie says, "I don't even buy that shit, girl. People send it. You definitely be out here like me, B. Just start being consistent and you will be definitely grow followers and you're fine as hell. But most of the time, that fake shit looks real." Isabella likes the messages and says, "Literally." July 8th, responds to Kenzie's story and says, OMG. Isabella says on July 22nd, iconic, responding to her again. And then on the 30th, she says, can't wait for the birthday post. Kenzie says, I love you, and it's to go in. Isabella likes it. And then on the 31st, the day of the night before the crash, Isabella says, I'm in love with you, to Kenzie's story. There's something in the water that makes Lakeside Melly's voice so soothing and relaxing. Really? Thank you. Okay, cringe, True Colors coming out. That's where you shop when you're 95 pounds in the kids section. She's probably a size 0. Save a ton of money on clothes. Oh, well, that's nice. That's nice. Augie. Okay, one more thread for tonight. Yes, please hit the like button. You've been warned. You've been warned. You've been warned by Agina Belita. Okay. Oh, this person is that bitch. Dabby. Okay, I'll say Dabby. Literally dat. DAT. So don't get mad at me. On July 31st, Dat B says, hey boo, have you gotten a new TikTok? Miss you in your videos so much. This was before the crash. Kenzie says, oh my God, stop. I love you. I made a new one, baby 𝗕𝗏𝗄𝗕. I'm trying to get mine back right now. That was it. This thread is with 𝗕𝗏𝗔𝗗𝗏. We'll call it 𝗕𝗏𝗔𝗏. Kenzie says on February 15th, so gorgeous. 𝗕𝗏𝗔𝗗𝗏 says, thank you, babe. I'm going to say yes, but you know the story, responding to Kenzie's story in March. Kenzie says, LMAO, she deserve it. Oh, that girl. Remember the fight? They keep bringing that up. Hey, surviving teaching. That's funny. Kenzie says, LMAO, she deserve it. And then 𝗕𝗏𝗔𝗗𝗏 says, Baha. I think she's just sending a bunch of words. Kenzie says, LOL on July 31st. 𝗕𝗏𝗔𝗗𝗏 responds to the message and sends hearts. So that was right before the crash. Next thread is with Katie. July 11th, 2022, Kenzie says, stop. I love you so much. Come shoot with me sometime. Katie says, I love you. And girl, I would absolutely love that. I can't wait. OMG on the 30th, July 30th. And then Kenzie says, stop this fit about to go crazy. Katie likes the message. That's the end of that thread. Mia Bruder. I think we did a Mia earlier too, but this must be a different one. Did we do a Mia earlier? I thought we did. Kenzie says on July 30th, where is the carnival from you post? Mia says, it's Summerfest in Fairview. Kenzie said, is it going on right now? Mia says, yeah, tonight there are fireworks, like 10 or something. Next thread is in real life, Angel. Kenzie says on July 26th, responding to their story, as you should. And then Kenzie says again, I effing love her so much, responding to Angel's story. IRL Angel said, likes the message, says, oh my God, she's my art inspo. Kenzie says, I want her art in my house when I have one. I never met another girl who effed with her. In real life sends a message. Says, yes, oh my God, I want to marry her so we can make art together. And then on the 27th, July 27th, Kenzie says, did you make that? OMG, I'm obsessed. IRL Angel says, yes, girl, I need to get back into art. Likes a message. Kenzie says, because that is good AF. You can make TikToks of you doing art. It will blow up. IRL Angel says, thank you for the support. This thread is just one message, and it's Molly. Molly says, responds on the 30th to Kenzie's story and says, cute. That was it. The point of these, I think, is that must have been pictures with Dom, or they're just trying to establish that she was fine, in a I guess, normal state of mind. Could be that. The next thread is with Lisa. Lisa says on July 28th, hey, I really like your profile and your post, and if you let me, I would make an amazing mural out of it. If you don't mind, one of your posts will be inspiring for an art project I'm working on. You will get paid for it as well, and bonus also gets credits. Are you interested? Kenzie says, that sounds amazing. I'm flattered. Tell me more and show me some of your art. Lisa likes the message, sends an attachment, and says on July 29th, for the painting, I would be doing an oil canvas, 50 by 50 portrait painting using your face or one of your posts as my inspired muse for reference. I was thinking about using your picture for the art piece, if that's fine, and you will be getting paid $700 twice in a week. Are you interested? Kenzie says, damn, yes, of course you could. This is a crazy opportunity. I'm happy you want me to be part of this. So this is like 2 days before the crash. Lisa says, I hope 700 is okay for you as your art project. You'll need to get your first payment now. What institution do you bank with? I'm not asking for your banking info. Likes a message. And then on the 29th, Lisa says, hey. Kenzie says, I do PayPal or Cash App. Lisa says, I'm sorry, my client can't pay with third-party apps this moment for his bank policy and lock his card. Hope you understand. I would like to let you know I make payment with Paycheck. Send you check. Do you know how to deposit a check? That sounds shady as hell. This whole thing right now. That's a scam. Yeah, Pizza. Pizza says that's a scam. That's hilarious. Kenzie's gonna get scammed. We think that's funny. The next thread is with somebody named Lexi. Lexi says, a different Lexi, on June 22nd, leg day from town hall, responding to Kenzie. Kenzie said, you YKTV, you know the vibe. Oh, did I just put that together? You know the vibe. I get these messages all the time. That's hilarious, Pizza. Kenzie says, it's gas. Lexi says, I work there. It better be good. Kenzie says, stop, you do? I'm there like 2 to 3 times a week. June 22nd. Kenzie says, do you serve? Lexi says, nope, I'm a runner and the crepe girl. Kenzie says, I never had a crepe from there. Well, hopefully next time I see you, you're going to have to come tell me what day you're working so I can come say hi. And then on July 26th, so it jumped from June 22nd to July 26th, Kenzie says, did the cops pull up? Kenzie starts an audio call. Lexi says, not yet. Okay, so the audio call never went through. Kenzie said, send me JJ snap. Lexi says, you can come back. Oh, so they were like at a party and she thought the cops were going to show up. Oh, 𝗫𝗄𝗔𝗔𝗑. She was messaging with 𝗫𝗄𝗔𝗑, the brand. Kenzie sends an attachment to them on the 18th, February 18th. And then sends another attachment to the clothing brand. And then on March 22nd, Kenzie says, here's her little spiel. Hi, my name is Mackenzie Shirilla, and I'm a content creator / model. Most of my contact is me opening packages or styling outfits. Half of my wardrobe is 𝗫𝗄𝗔𝗑, and I love styling and working with from there. As a petite girl, 𝗫𝗄𝗔𝗑 lets me dress how I want because it's one of those only brands who is inclusive to petite women. Petite girls want to see petite girls represented. If you give me the chance, I'll show you why I deserve it. My TikTok is Baby Kush. I have 8,132 followers. Most of them are pretty active and comment on most of my videos. I'm going to add a photo of my engagement so you can see. My followers are 78.5% female and 21.5 male. I'm very close with my followers and they know I'm very trustworthy, which is why I think I'm a good candidate for this partnership. My Instagram is Mackenzie Shirilla and I have 2,056 followers. My followers range from 18 to 34, with 57.7% women and 47.2% male. Some other brands I have collaborated and partnered with is Busties and DHgate. And then she sends another one on the 27th and said, just boosting this to the top. And then on April 10th, she sends an attachment again. And then on April 11th, again, the IMG of the brand likes her message on April 11th. And then it goes all the way to July 7th. Kenzie sends another attachment, not her harassing the clothing company, and then sends another attachment. IMG responds with hearts. On the 9th, Kenzie sends another attachment. IMG just responds with emojis. July 11th, Kenzie says, hi, IMG. I know I've reached out before, but consistency is key. I would love to work together and collaborate with you guys. Thank you for being a weight-inclusive brand. Sends a photo. And then on the 23rd, July 23rd, Kenzie sends another attachment. IMG responds with emojis. And then on the 25th, Kenzie sends another attachment. IMG responds with emojis. So they literally were like, we're not interested, girl. Okay, that's kind of funny. Oh, here she is, 𝗕𝗏𝗵𝗧 backup. Kenzie sent 𝗕𝗏𝗵𝗧 a message on July 25th. Trish, I want to meet you. Did she just think that she was a celebrity or what? What the hell? Then the next thread on this one is from 𝗕𝗏𝗵𝗧. 𝗕𝗏𝗵𝗧 responds to Kenzie's story on June 24th. You're literally so hot, the hottest ever. Kenzie says, stop. I love you so much and miss you. I better be invited to the wedding. That's what Kenzie said to 𝗕𝗏𝗵𝗧. 𝗕𝗏𝗵𝗧 likes the message and says, obviously. Kenzie says, oh my God, yes. Can't wait. 𝗕𝗏𝗵𝗧 says, he. July 3rd. 𝗕𝗏𝗵𝗧 responds to Kenzie's story and says, dude. Kenzie says, stop. I love you. They came out so cute. 𝗕𝗏𝗵𝗧 says, Def, post them. 𝗕𝗏𝗵𝗧 says, Kenzie, you're the hottest person ever. Kenzie says, I love you, Bessie, mommy. And then on the July 25th, Bessie says, where is this? Responding to Kenzie's story. Kenzie says, OMG. That's the end of it. The next one is with Sophia. Kenzie sends an attachment on July 25th to Sophia. Sophia responds with emojis. What's it there? The next one is Summer. Kenzie says on January 18th, sends emojis to her story. Then Summer says cute to Kenzie. Kenzie sends emojis. They're liking each other's stuff. January 19th, Kenzie says FYE. I don't know what that stands for. Let me know. Summer then sends another one on January 21st and says, no, for online, I like seeing it outfits at school. I was saying yes to the hair, but you just peeped the question. Then Summer responds again to her story on the 21st. Kenzie says, I switched to online DW. I'll still take outfit pics. Switch to online DW. I'll still take outfit pics. I love you. I'm sad about it though. Summer likes the message. Both of them. On the 24th, Summer says, the shoes I'm stalking right now. to Kenzie's story. So she wants the shoes Kenzie has on in her story. Kenzie says, PLT girl, but they hurt. Summer likes the message. Says, man, I can't do shoes that hurt. Kenzie says, they worth it. They are cute as F. Summer likes the message. Summer says, oh, okay, I'm trying to find a pair that's pink with the butterflies on them or something similar. Kenzie says, bruh, I need more heels. Send a pic when you get those. They sound cute AF. Summer likes the message. And then it goes to February 14th, Valentine's. She responds to Kenzie's story and says, okay. Kenzie says, I love you. Summer likes the message. Then Summer responds again to her story on the 20th with emojis. Kenzie says, I love you. Summer likes a message. And then on March 27th, she says W, like win, for Kenzie's picture. Kenzie sends hearts. Summer likes it. Then Summer says, yes, OMG, to Kenzie's story. Kenzie says, I love you, babe. Summer says, you have such pretty features on April 27th. Kenzie says, I love you so much. Summer reacts to her message. Summer says, I love you. On July 25th, Summer shares a story. Kenzie says, I literally love you so much, wife AF. Summer likes her message. Summer says, I love you. Kenzie sends hearts. And that's where we're going to end there for today. We're almost 3 hours in. We're leaving off with Nina. Ooh. Nina. That'll be good. That'll be good. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 will meet Mackenzie in prison. I know I'm lagging a little bit, so woo, woohoo! I know, I'm so glad. I love reading these. We are about 1,000 pages away from being done. So Kenzie loves all the people. I know. She's like, love you. I love you so much to everyone, every single time. That was funny. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 will meet Kenzie. Kenzie can't make it in school anymore. Anywhere with structure, no rules for her. Right. Shout out to you guys. We did 2.5 hours of these. And like I said, we have like 1,000 more pages to go. Thank you, Alicia. Melly, you read the best. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We do have more Kenzie lives, like I said, tomorrow. So I will schedule them all tonight. We also have Jip shit lives tomorrow, Gypsy Rose. And then we have Brian Koberger as well. So it's going to be a busy true crime day here at Mellyverse tomorrow. I hope you guys can make it. And I appreciate you guys for hanging out for the last few hours. Shout out to you guys. I love you so much. Who does that remind you of? Jip shit. No, thank you guys for being here. Hit the like button on the way out. Hype it up, hype it up. Like I said, I will be dropping a video of 2 calls tonight for Kenzie. And then tomorrow we'll be going over the calls that I've dropped recently under the videos tab. And then I will have another live with new calls. So Master is coming. Exactly. You guys better chase until tomorrow. Kenzie gets my blood boiling for sure. Me too. Don't do that ever again, Melly. Do I look like Gyps? Yeah. I love you, Kenzie voice. I love you, bitch. That's the Kenzie voice. I blocked Gypsy Rose. You better be here, Rebecca. No, thank you, Melly. No, thank you guys for being here. Love, love, love you guys and appreciate you. There's my heart. Hit the like button on the way out. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything. And I will see you guys tomorrow on the next True Crime Live. And make sure to keep your eye out for the Kenzie video that will be dropping later tonight. I'll see you on the next one.